In 1986, the first moving train on screen caused panic as viewers scrambled out of their seats, thinking they'd be crushed by it. Now, picture walking through the streets of 1900s Paris or riding the earliest roller coasters, all brought to life in color. Today, we're unlocking the 10 oldest colorized footages that give us a jaw-dropping glimpse into the past, making history feel closer than ever before. Trust me, you won't want to miss these time-traveling moments. Number 1. Trip through New York City, 1911. Let's kick it off with some classic New York hustle and bustle. This footage from 1911 shows New York City just as it was beginning to explode into the metropolis we know today. You can actually see horse-drawn carriages and the first automobiles sharing the same streets. What's really mind-blowing is seeing famous landmarks like the Flatiron Building or the Woolworth Building, which was once the tallest in the world. Something fun about this clip? People still dress super formally, even for daily errands. Hats, coats, and polished shoes were a must. Oh, and guess what? The Statue of Liberty was only 25 years old back then, still considered pretty new. With modern colorization, it's like you're stepping right into the past, and it's stunning to see how life looked like over a century ago. And spoiler alert, New York has always been busy. Number 2. London Olympic Games, 1908. Next up, let's head to London. The 1908 Olympics footage is fascinating not only for sports lovers, but also for history buffs. These games were held in London, and you can see athletes from all over the world dressed in their national colors parading during the opening ceremony. One of the craziest moments caught on tape is when Italian marathon runner Dorando Petri collapsed just before the finish line and had to be helped across. It's the kind of drama that makes the Olympics unforgettable. By the way, back then, the marathon was even longer than it is today. The footage gives an exciting glimpse into sports history, and the recent colorization makes the action feel alive again. You almost feel the crowd's energy cheering on their favorite athletes. Number 3. A Trip Down Market Street, 1906. This one is a jaw-dropper because it's like a snapshot of San Francisco just days before a catastrophic earthquake leveled the city. The footage shows life on Market Street as people were blissfully unaware of the disaster that was about to hit. What's wild is that you can see a mix of technologies. Horse-drawn carriages, early cars, and streetcars all moving in organized chaos. People seemed just as distracted by modern life back then as we are now. And when this clip was colorized, it added a layer of eerie beauty. The San Francisco that was and would never be again is forever captured in those frames. If you look closely, you can spot pedestrians darting out of the way of streetcars. There's no stopping for foot traffic back in the day. Number 4. Living Wigan, 1902. Here's one from England. The footage of Living Wigan, shot in 1902, captures everyday life in this small town in the north of England. There's something super charming about watching people go about their daily routines, totally unaware of the camera. The colorization adds depth to the bustling town square, where trams were a major form of transportation. A fun secret about this footage: when it was originally shown at Wigan Town Hall, the filmmakers actually sprayed the audience with water during the screening for a little extra entertainment. This was over 100 years ago, and even back then, filmmakers knew how to have fun with their audiences. Number 5. Lumiere Brothers Films, 1895 to 1900. Okay, so the Lumiere brothers were legit pioneers of film. This French duo basically started the entire movie industry, and one of their most iconic works is workers leaving the Lumiere factory in 1895. It's a simple scene, workers clocking out of a day's shift, but it's also so powerful. These were some of the first moving images ever captured. The colorization process makes this scene feel like you're right there in 1895, seeing people just like us in real life. There's something almost magical about that. Fun fact: when this film was first shown, audiences were reportedly terrified by the moving pictures. They had never seen anything like it. Number 6. Arrival of a Train at La Ciotat, 1895. Here's a clip that literally scared the daylights out of its first viewers. The Arrival of a Train at La Ciotat from 1897 was another one of the Lumiere brothers' creations, and when it was first screened, audiences thought the train was coming right at them. Some people even ran out of the theater, no joke. The footage shows a steam train pulling into the station, and with colorization, the whole scene becomes much more real and dynamic. The details in the train's design, the passengers' clothing, and the natural landscape pop out, making you feel like you're waiting at the station yourself. Number 7. Early roller coaster in Britain, 1898. Imagine riding a roller coaster over 100 years ago. The Switchback Railway was one of the earliest roller coasters, and footage from 1898 shows people riding this wooden coaster in Britain. It's crazy to think that roller coasters were just starting to be a thing, and people must have found it absolutely wild. This footage has been colorized to give it that extra level of nostalgia, and it's thrilling to watch even today. People in long skirts and hats were gripping the safety bars for dear life as they zoomed down the track. The thrill of adventure has been with us forever, I guess. Number 8. Paris in the 1890s. Lumiere footage. The 1890s footage of Paris, filmed by the Lumiere brothers, is an absolute treasure. You get to see the Eiffel Tower when it was still brand new, and catch a glimpse of Notre Dame, which, fun fact, wasn't even fully restored yet. The streets of Paris were filled with horse-drawn carriages, and people dressed to impress just walking along Champs-Élysées. Colorizing this footage brings out the charm and grandeur of Paris. It's like the perfect postcard of what life was like in the City of Light more than a century ago. Number 9. The Roundhay Garden Scene, 1888. This one is historic. The Roundhay Garden Scene from 1888 is one of the oldest surviving pieces of motion picture ever created, and it's only a few seconds long. It was filmed by Louis Le Prince in England, and shows family members walking around the garden. When this footage was colorized, it became even more fascinating because it feels like a real, candid moment frozen in time. You can see the smiles, the flowing clothes, and even though it's so short, it packs a punch in showing us what life looked like back then. Number 10. Visage de Venus, 1874. Lastly, we have to mention Visage de Venus, captured in 1874. Although this is technically a series of photographs of the planet Venus transiting the sun, it's considered one of the earliest examples of chronophotography. The images were turned into moving footage, and even though none of the original plates survived, this marks an incredible point in history. For astronomy fans, this one is extra cool because it shows how early photography was used for scientific purposes. The footage was colorized to give it a more vivid look, making this cosmic event from 150 years ago feel closer than ever. And there you have it. 10 incredible glimpses into history, brought back to life with color. If these stories left you in awe, just imagine what else is waiting to be discovered. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us on the next journey through time.